In terms of the weakness in the CPI, did we learn anything? Like, is it all wireless telecom services? I mean, airline fares were actually the biggest hit, down 2.7%.
Well, so that we would categorize that as an idiosyncratic factor. What we really need to focus on here are those core services numbers. That's what's going to be most correlated to the output gap. That's going to be what the Federal Reserve is paying the closest attention to. I think we need to recognize that we're not going to solve the is it transitory or structural question this month. It's going to take a few months to get there.
Had a few of those, though. Come on, Francis. So here's the question. I've just seen a comment on Twitter that says transitory forever. And thinking about things at the moment, this has been a number of months now. How many months does it have to be before it's a trend?
That's a great question. We'll have 3 more of those prints by September, which is why we see a balance sheet reduction in September and not a rate hike by then, because I don't think we will have solved this puzzle. Those wireless cell phone numbers, that's going to take a year to shake out of the number. But I'd also comment here, there's a difference between idiosyncratic factors, one-offs like that cell phone, and cyclical price declines. We're seeing auto prices decline. We're seeing things like healthcare inflation fall. Those might be more of a cyclical trend as opposed to one-offs. I think we kind of have to add that third category of price deflation in there.
So it comes back to the Fed and what the Fed should do with this information.
Yeah, and one of those important things that we learned this week is in June, we heard this speech from Janet Yellen in her press conference where she seemed to downplay her concern about inflation. She's reversed that this week, said she's watching it very closely. From my point of view, the inflation numbers are probably not going to derail a Fed hike this year, but it does matter directly into the sequencing of events. What comes first, the balance sheet reduction or the Fed hike? With numbers like this, another disappointment on the core month over month, looks like balance sheet reduction comes first.
And John